Hey everyone, this is a video I would normally not ever post here, just given the topic. I want to talk about technology, the products I like, what I do for a living, those sorts of things. As I'm sure you've probably seen, I use Android tablets, I use Android phones. I have a Samsung Galaxy Tab, the newest one, I think it's the third version, and I have a HTC Desire S, also on Android. I'm due for an upgrade, so I'm probably going to get a Samsung S4 or that new Nexus 5. They're going to bring it out in South Africa, I think, in January. So yeah, I don't see the point of getting an iPhone or an iPad. I don't hate their devices. I don't hate Apple. I quite like the stuff. I convinced my dad to get a Mac a few years ago, and now he's become this total Apple fanboy, and he's bought my mom an iPad. He has an iPad. He has an iPhone. The rest of my two elder sisters, they have Macs now, so it's like really irritating. The only one who uses Windows in my house is my sister. On my computers, I don't run Windows or Mac. I run what is called Linux, and Linux is an operating system. It's free, but when we say free, it's not as in the price. It's like freedom as in free speech, not as in free beer. That means I can modify it. It's open source. I can see the source code and change it if I need to. But most of the time I just use it out of the box. I don't see the point of modifying it. So that's what I use on my computers. Linux is everywhere. If you, on YouTube, what you're watching now, this video is hosted on a Linux server. So Google runs Linux. Amazon runs Linux. Facebook runs Linux. Twitter runs Linux, and the New York Stock Exchange runs Linux, I think, and I think the London Stock Exchange. It powers supercomputers. Linux is everywhere. All the animated films like Shrek and the stuff that you see in Hollywood, most of the time the special effects in that, they are done on Linux machines, the actual effects and the drawings and that. They may edit the movie itself on a Mac, but the actual drawings and the rendering and all of that is done on a Linux machine. So yeah, a teacher introduced me to Linux, and I was on Windows at the time, and I started dabbling in it, and 2 years ago I made the plunge and I uninstalled Windows off my machine, put Linux on, and I have never looked back. So it's unusual for a gay guy. I know most gay men, they own iPhones, they own Macs. I don't own anything. I have no interest in doing so, and it's not out of a vendetta or a hate. Android is Linux based, and so that's why I like it so much, because it works very well with machines. So yeah, I also come from an IT background, so if I have any issues, I can solve them myself. I don't need to go to anybody to fix them for me. But you know, for day to day, nothing goes wrong with my machines unless it's like a hardware failure. Everything just works fine. I can go on YouTube, and it's no different to someone who's doing it on a Mac or on Windows, or, you know, browsing the web. The stuff that I need, I can do it on Linux. Macs and that are great for desktop publishing and video editing, but I just don't see the point. I don't hate the machines. I just don't want. I don't see the need to buy one. It's personal preference, basically. It's like Mercedes versus like BMWs versus Hondas. Like, I drive a Honda, and I would get another Japanese car, get a Toyota or a Lexus. I don't see the point in getting a Mercedes or a BMW. Even if I had the money, I don't see the point. That's just the kind of person I am. So yeah, I'm quite, you know, it's very unusual. Most people, I normally don't tell gay people this because they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So yes, I come from an IT background. I studied IT, and now I'm moving into deploying broadband networks. I want to do that as a job, as a living, you know, because that's the future, is broadband and the internet and bringing it into people's homes. Specifically, fiber optics. Fiber optics connects all the internet, all countries around the world. Anytime you go on the internet or go on the phone or use your cell phone, at some point that connection you're making will at some point cross over a fiber optic connection. It may initially go over a copper cable, or it might go over wireless over the cell phone base station, but it will eventually some point land up on a fiber optic cable. And so that's what I want to do. I want to bring fiber optic connections into people's homes. If you live in the US, you've probably heard of AT&T, Uverse, and Verizon Fios. I want to deploy networks like that where you get phone, TV, and internet. They call it triple play. That's what I want to do, bringing fast, high-speed internet connections into people's home. That's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I want to do. So you've probably learned a little bit of something about me. I hope I haven't lost anyone here. But that's the technology stuff I like. They're Apple stores, they're iStores, they're here. Most of the government departments in this country run Windows. So do many businesses. I just don't see the point. I can run Linux. I just get Linux, so I don't see the point. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. But I hope I haven't bored you, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video.